what seems to be kind of his pillars for success. A lot of it leans on plyometrics, which I'm a huge fan of having a great foundation in plyometrics. I think a lot of people talk about plyometrics in a way that sounds like they know what they're doing, but
Yeah.
like they really don't know how to like use it for performance and performance therapy, which is something that I really feel like if we were going to integrate anything that like changes the game, it's kind of that it's an in between like strength and conditioning and uh and the athletic training room, which is performance therapy.
Mhm.
And that's the spot I'm really interested. Like, hey, can you use your knowledge of plyometrics the way that I feel like everybody talks about you? And like, it seems like you've worked with, Christian McCaffrey and like big names like this. I mean, that's the thing in the strength and conditioning world. Like, people can, like, you go talk to any strength and conditioning coach, and if Christian McCaffrey came to work out with one of his dudes that works, out of the gym in Dallas, now he's going to say, "Oh, Christian McCaffrey, like I worked with Christian McCaffrey, or like whatever." But this guy apparently like really has like worked with him in the past, and like other like really big names in other sports. I love the fact that he's not just a single sport guy, because you can bring elements and creativity of really crafting movements, and like I call like a, a really good performance coach, and I like the term human performance coach over strength and conditioning coach. I think strength and conditioning like if we go to TCU right now with Coach Kazkazidi, who's a friend of mine and like a dude that is doing exceptional things and has done exceptional things everywhere that he's been as a human performance coach. That's what his staff is called. Like, they're human performance. They're not strength and conditioning. And everything about what they do is the full gamut. It's enhancement, performance enhancement, and performance recovery. And I love that philosophy. And that's where I'm trying to figure out, does Loren Landow have the ability to take this information that it seems like he knows? A lot of it that I saw online was about, speed training and developing acceleration. And he's really focused on, the first 10 yards. Um, and I like that. I think all of that is a good foundational philosophy for developing athletes in football, because it's really like it's a game of 10-yard bursts and like the ability to accelerate and change direction more than you know linear lines. And so I think he's got a good foundation on that. I want to see, can you take your knowledge and understanding of plyometrics and bring it into a performance therapy package at Notre Dame that ultimately does like help people like with soft tissue injuries during the season. I know that we're gonna like people have mixed opinion. I've listened to a few different podcasts on what people thought of Loren Landow with the Broncos, what some of the guys like some of the Notre Dame like nation is just thinking of Loren Landow right now. And um, it seems like the players with the Broncos really loved him. It seems like the fans like didn't like him as much because they had soft tissue injuries while he was there and they were blaming him for it. And then people that were on the staff were saying like, you can't blame, Loren Landow for this. This is not like on him. And so it kind of leaves it up in the air for me, because I'm like, part of me is part of me is like, man, if you're the strength coach and your team is laden with hamstring injuries and soft tissue injuries, part of that is going to be on you. Like, it's got to be, in my opinion. It not all of it, like, because these are individual, like especially at the professional level, there's so many limitations that these guys have. Um, like, that's the difference that I think he's gonna that'll be interesting. You know, is the difference between a college program and an NFL program, and what NFL guys like, how they'll use their own guys, and in the off season, like the strength coach isn't even able to like contact them and stuff. So, which is different, obviously, at the collegiate level, you're only with your strength coach, and like you live with them, and you like that's your dude. He becomes like your new head coach in the off season, and so it'll be interesting to see um, how things convert into this next season. And what the soft tissue injuries look like. Because I think not just like getting a hamstring injury is one thing. How do you recover after that? Like we were talking about playmakers earlier. We saw Greathouse at the beginning of the season just like turning heads, you know, and then he gets some hamstring tweaks around Ohio State, and like where did he go? Like he was almost non-existent and a non-factor for the rest of the season. And I don't think that's because of his like playmaking ability. I think the guy is an absolute freak. Like I watched him in Texas high school football, like with Austin Westlake, and like what that guy did and why he was the most, like one of the most heavily recruited wide receivers in the country. And he came in, you know, at the beginning of the season demonstrating that I may be a true freshman, young guy, like, but I'm going to like make plays here. Like I'm going to turn heads. And he was doing that. But I feel like there's just guys that get injured and they stay injured instead of recovering fully. And that's where performance therapy comes in. That's where you're able to use plyometrics, shock method. Dr. Yuri Verkhoshansky with USC, who's been there for over 40, like he's the father of plyometrics that brought it over to the United States. Like you see like collapsed recovery timelines, and that's what we're looking for. We're looking for that.